Here they come. They're off and trotting. First one off the gate from the extreme outside. Mission Brief launched out of there by Gingras. Down at the inside is Classical Annie. Down the center third is Wild Honey. Floating fourth out there, Danielle Hall. Fifth inside to Elegant Serenity. Sixth backed up goes Speak to Me. Trailing the field is I'm So Fancy as they move into the first turn. And on that early lead to the front went Mission Brief. Pocketing up in behind her is Wild Honey second. Third towards the rail is Classical Annie. The quarter was 26 and 2/5 seconds, and they're into the backstretch. On that lead is Mission Brief, and she's pumped up on the lead by 2 lengths. Pocket sitting second, Wild Honey. Third, just off the speed, is Classical Annie. It's 2.5 lengths to Elegant Serenity from in fourth. The fifth one back is Danielle Hall. Then sixth inside to Speak to Me, and I'm So Fancy trails from in seventh. Across the backstretch, half-mile bound, they chase Gingras and Mission Brief, leaders by 2 lengths. Pocket sitting all the way has been Wild Honey. Here's the half, 56 and 2. Second split in 30 flat. Mission Brief onto the far turn. Here by 2 lengths leads the way. Wild Honey still second. Third towards the inside is Classical Annie. Gap of 2 to Elegant Serenity. Then it's back to Danielle Hall, followed by Speak to Me. And still last is I'm So Fancy. She's the first to pole. On the way to 3/4, Mission Brief is still there, and she widens out her advantage now to 3 lengths. Wild Honey back in second. Third to the rail is Classical Annie. Elegant Serenity starting to move forward. 3/4 in 125. Top of the stretch, and Mission Brief is still there. She's off stride! Mission Brief self-destructed on the lead for Gingras, and that leaves the door wide open now. Wild Honey and Campbell, the lead, fall in their laps as they come into the final eighth of the mile. Second is Classical Annie. Late speed on the far outside from I'm So Fancy. Wild Honey clear in deep stretch by 3 lengths, and it's Wild Honey. Wild Honey to win the Breeders' Crown by 2 lengths. Second best in the center was I'm So Fancy. Rushing up for third was Speak to Me in 1:54 3/5. Back to Victory Lane, capturing tonight's 6th race Breeders' Crown final for 3-year-old trotting fillies. 3 straight scores for Wild Honey. First the Bluegrass, then the Kentucky Filly Futurity. Here tonight, the Breeders' Crown. Her 7th tally in 14 this year, her 17th lifetime. This Cantab Hall filly out of the SJ's Photo Mare, You Want a Lindy, is owned by Christina Tactor, John Fielding, Herb Liverman, and Jim Fielding. Bred by Lindy Racing Stable of Enfield, Connecticut. Gives trainer Jimmy Tactor a 3rd Breeders' Crown trophy here tonight. Driven to victory by Mr. Harness Racing, John Campbell, the sport's all-time money-winning reinsman and Breeders' Crown winning reinsman. Wild Honey scores here tonight. Stops the clock in 1:54 3/5 with the trophy presentation to the winning connections here tonight. On behalf of the Hamiltonian Society, Dr. J. Glenn Brown joined trackside here this evening. Lawson, as they make the trophy presentation to Wild Honey, who returns 5:20 with her mini upset, so to speak, over favored Mission Brief and others in 1:54 3/5.
All right, welcome back. Breeders' Crown Night 2015. We're at the midway point. Our first, if you want to call it, upset of the night. A very mild one at that. Wild Honey getting it done. John, a similar trip to what you got last time when you beat Mission Brief and the fact you got to sit on her back. But talk about the last turn. It looked like she was maybe getting away on you a little bit there. I mean, realistically, if she stayed flat, were you going to get her?
I don't think so. My filly struggled a little bit in the last turn. I really had to, be careful with her there. And at that point, I was thinking that, I'm just not going to get her, because if you're going to beat her, you have to be right up on her back well into the stretch. And I had to give up some lengths there, and so she got away on me. But once I got my filly around the turn, she squared up, and she gave me a good effort finishing.
Did you realize right away when you turned for home that Mission Brief had jumped it off, and then I guess you've got to worry about horses behind you?
Yeah, definitely. When I come out of the turn and she squared up, I looked, and Yannick was out in the middle of the racetrack off stride, and at that point I was just worrying about what was coming from behind.
All right, and as you said, once she straightened away, totally different?
Yeah, she trotted the straightaway good, and she tries really hard. She went down to the wire, just as good as she could.
All right, congratulations, John.
Thanks, Greg.
Well done. Jimmy Tactor, winningest trainer in Breeders' Crown history. And already 2 wins now for you tonight. 3, sorry. And this one, maybe because I was surprised as other people at the top of the stretch where you kind of pulled one out of the fire with Wild Honey. As John said, she struggled maybe a little bit on the turn and the other one got away from her. I remember earlier in the year a couple of races where it looked similar, where others had gotten away from her, but then in the stretch she seems to get herself motivated again and come back on late.
Well, she always had like little issues on and off on the, in the turns, and I saw that a little bit that we're not going to beat this filly today. But at the same token, I saw that Yannick had big problem on the backside with the Mission Brief. She wasn't trotting as smooth as she normally do, and she haven't made a break like that in Meadowlands she did early this year. Mission Brief I'm talking about, in past the wire she made a break, but she looked like Yannick was in trouble also.
And I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but Wild Honey in a way has been under the radar this year. I mean, now with the victory tonight, over $1 million. Could you be any happier with the year she's had for you?
Absolutely not. I mean, she had a winning in Hambletonian and a British Crown and Futurity. I mean, she's to me the 3-year-old trotting filly of the year.
How do you like your chances for maybe getting back to this winner's circle at least one more time tonight?
I like Mickey, I like JK and Venera in the age pace. Both of them are coming in great shape. Katie said in age mares, I think she have a shot to be right there. And of course, my Colt Trotters, they've been very dominated this year, and I think all 4 are very good. Of course, Pinkman is probably a notch better than the rest of them. And then we have Creatine and Master Law. I mean, both are, have a shot. So
that's a solid lineup.
Hopefully we get lucky to get back here again.
All right. Congratulations on a great night so far, Jimmy, and it might just be getting started for you.
Thank you.
Jimmy Takter, 3rd winner so far tonight on Breeders' Crown Night 2015. So we could very potentially be watching history in the making here this evening. We're just past the midway point. We've got a lot left to come here. Race 7 is on deck.